You have the resume. They say the proof's in the pudding, the proof's in the numbers. You have that. You've had 30, 40, 50, $60,000 months in business. And so you've done things that other people just have never, they've only dreamed about. But in addition to that, you've had longevity. And that's not easy to do. And when I first met you, you were a super networker, had a big team going, understood marketing, didn't need any training and all that stuff. So the question is really, this is going to be a hard one for you. It's not going to be hard. With all of that experience and background, what made you decide to say yes to myEcon?
It's actually pretty simple how it happened, but it's a good story because I've told it a million times, even to my sponsor, and he knows it. How it happened was, yes, I was in network marketing and doing well. And you know how I pick compensation plans. I know we're going to get into that. But with that said, it was actually credit repair. So I learned a long time ago, the way I market in financial services, that credit repair is the most demanded product that you could sell. People to clean their credit up and get approved for loans, they'll give their first kid away. I'm telling you, they'll do anything to get that 700 score or above. So with that said, I was in a competitive company, true story. I joined a fellow who I knew. I always join people. When I join someone, and you know this, I always look to lift them up. Like I always say, you're going to be a happy guy. And that's what I tell my sponsor. I don't like sponsor shop in a negative way. I find someone who I want. And then literally what happened was the company I was in, they had credit repair. And true story, this will help people that are in myEcon. Their program was, I called it snail mail. And basically it was like a rope a dope. And what they did was, and I was in it, I was selling it. But what they did was you did it yourself, but they pretended to do it for you. And what they would do is they would just bill and drag it out and drag it out. And they were really just mailing the letters. So I wasn't real happy with that because I saw what was going on. And it was just taking triple the time compared to what I found here. So what happened was I started researching network marketing companies that had credit repair. And myEcon came up. And this is a true story. In 2018, I went on YouTube. I did my own research. I researched the comp plan. And then the next thing I do is when I'm choosing someone, I see if I have any Facebook friends that are currently active in that company because I'll go that route. And really only one person popped up, and him and I've never talked before. I knew who he was. He was out there. He was a big guy. And but I messaged him and I just said, "Hey, I don't have any questions. I just need your link." And that's exactly how it happened. And he goes, "Oh, that's what everyone says." He was a little wise guy. He says, "That's what everyone says." I go, "You're going to be a happy guy. Just give me your link." Gave me his link. I signed up. And that you mentioned a wave. We created a wave because of your credit repair product,
Okay.
because that's how it started. And just to do a commercial about the credit repair, because I am a little experienced, no one should be doing credit repair for anyone. We talk about privacy issues, we talk about identity theft. If you're not doing it yourself, no one can do credit repair faster than you do it for yourself. If you got all the hacks and you got the juice on how to do it, why would you pay someone to do it when you could do it yourself with the assistance? And we've advanced that compared to what we had in 18. So that was my way in the front door. Of course, I love the comp plan and all that good stuff, but that's how I got started with myEcon.
All right, I'll tell you, it was a big time start. I tell you, it was. I remember Miss Stokes and I was on vacation, and we was actually vacation somewhere I didn't want to go. And so I was like checking my phone all the time. I'm like, where are these people coming from? So
Well,
yeah, I'm like,
we're,
wow. So
we're going to
it's
get into that too, the strategy, because it's funny how that happens. And it really is.
yeah,
I mean,
I'll tell you.
and it went viral. And we've been doing that again.
Yeah,
It's starting
absolutely. Hey,
again. So
longevity is amazing. And just to give all of you some context out there, we're talking 20,000 people, over 20,000 people in less than 90 days. You're going to recognize your computer. You're going to look at the computer when those kind of numbers are coming in. And I would say today, we're in a better position today as a company. As a matter of fact, it's not even, it's hands down. The credit repair product is better today. The comp plan is better today. Everything's better today than it was then. At that time, we were an old school marketing company. We didn't do social media. We didn't do any of that. And we've evolved. And you know what we're talking about, this next $1 billion push. So let's go a little bit. You mentioned strategy, because I'm sure everybody out there now is saying, what strategy did you use to make this thing happen like that, Bill?
It's funny because I got notes here, like I told you, and I could say, oh, I love Craigslist, or I do, or I love my team's doing short form videos, and me, I love YouTube. But I'm going to tell you my strategy. And you know it, Ivy. I've said it. I captain hunt. And I tell everyone, my team members, and there's a lot here, I see them. I always tell them that you have to pay for the peanut butter jelly sandwiches. You have to, meaning you have to make sales in the beginning if you're going to pay the bills in a business, an online business, an MLM. But if you don't have at least 10% focused in your business on your daily activities or when you're work promoting, to go and reach after captains, meaning leaders that have other teams, other team builders. There's not a producer alive. And I've had producers who've done 100 sales in a week, personal sales. That's awesome. And that makes a lot of money. But that cannot keep pace when you bring a captain in. I've brought captains in the companies, meaning other leaders, and they and every listen, don't be afraid. This is important. Don't be afraid of a leader. Everyone has good days and bad days. It's all timing. And sometimes I reach out and I get the flip off, or they don't even respond. But then, true story, in 18, the one that we know, he came, he answered one email. I'd never messaged him before. He knows who I am, but we never talked. And he goes, give me a little bit. And a couple hours later, he says, I'm in. And that was the start of 2018, that leg. So my point is a captain hunt. And it doesn't matter if you're going to soldiers, lieutenants, captains. A soldier is just important. Because remember, in this pay plan, you could bring someone in who really doesn't have experience and hasn't done well. But if they have the right training and they got their heart right and they're consistent and they're not a shiny object chaser, even a soldier can introduce you to another captain in this pay plan. So when I say captains, it doesn't mean that I'm the one that always gets the captains. I do focus on them, but I have team members through our training and mindset that understand that I always say, my favorite saying is, in MLM, in a real transactional compensation plan with no gotchas, you're only one person away from just going from long-term success. As they say, overnight success is not always overnight, but that's when it is overnight. You could go month after month after month, and then all of a sudden you or one of your team members brings in a captain, you're instantly a super success. And I will never be the number one recruiter. I don't want to be the number one recruiter. That's too much work. But you have to start there. When I remember the number when I went all the way in 2018. So I joined at the end of May. I met Ivy in Queens, New York. And then in June, literally my team grew so fast that it was because of one guy. So I went, those numbers that he gave you, that's right, the numbers that he gave you with the income, that happened to me overnight. Now that could have been a whole nother year, but because of the captains that I brought in, that literally happened in June and July, within 3 months of having breakfast and introducing myself to Ivy. And the only thing I said to Ivy was, need integrity, downline protection. You remember our conversation at breakfast.
Absolutely.
You didn't even know me. That's all. What did I say? I said downline protection. And that brings up another thing about myEcon, why I'm here. And let's just let the cat out of the bag. I strayed, but never went inactive. Ivy will tell you, I've had the same account since 2018. What the reason why I'm really with myEcon, sold in, like it is done, is the integrity of the company, the leadership. They run it like a real, they don't run it like an MLM. I say MLM, they don't even say MLM. They run it like a real successful legacy company. And that makes the difference. Like you said, once you open me up, I get up every morning, and the best feeling for anyone here is not having to wake up and say, what am I going to go look at? So there's hours of my day that I'm not looking for any other opportunities. So I'm sold out there. And then I promote just like every other person. And then I also captain hunt. I do
That's
captain hunt.
great. That's great.
And,
That's fantastic.
yep,
Yeah, you know what? And Bill and I, like I said, we spend a lot of time talking. What I've noticed with Bill is just like he's always bringing in captains, but he's always working with the soldiers. And but one thing that really stands out with Bill that's different than 90+% of the people that I talk to in network marketing is he's not afraid at all. As a matter of fact, he embraces it, talking about team building, talking about leveraged and residual income. And so many people, they're afraid of that because they'll have somebody. Because surely, if you talk about team building, leveraged income, recruiting, you're going to have somebody on the Zoom, somebody in the meeting that's going to be like, all they want us to do is recruit. Well, you don't have to recruit. But some of us believe in team building. Just think about if McDonald's had one location instead of the 40,000 that they have, be a pitiful little restaurant. So
absolutely.
I say embrace networking, team building, leveraged and residual income, because that's what I've seen Bill. I've never seen him focus on anything other than team building, leverage, and residual income. That's great, Bill. And I've got a question here. Now, normally the way I ask this question is, it's what kept you going when the result didn't come immediately? But I'm going to have to ask you this question in a different way because your results came immediately. How do you help people on your team keep going when they're not getting results immediately?
Like I said, oh, this is good. I'm not even using my notes because it's just there. But the truth is, no, I've had bad days. One thing you do is when you have a bad day, you never complain down. We say it a different way, but you never complain down. You always complain up. And that doesn't mean you whine, doesn't mean, you can actually complain. I reached out to Ivy in the last month one time, and I said, hey, I need to talk to you. And I started it out with, I'm good. I just need to say it. And I said, I want to get to that 10,000 team members like sooner. I'm gonna get it. But oh man, this industry lately with everyone like the shiny object syndrome, it's annoying. But I know that for me, that's just me. That's just like a little time. It's not even a complaint. So what I'm trying to say is you got to have someone that you can speak to above. But it starts with the person in the mirror. You have to be sold out. You have to be sold out. That means like you can't dabble and be unsure if you're happy or not happy. And then you look for reasons why you're not happy all the time because you're just going to quit and you're going to look for other opportunities. You got to be sold out. If you love the corporate leadership, and I know a lot of people here adore Ivy, and you love the CEO and you love the company, you love the products, you should be sold out. You shouldn't be wavering. You'll win the race, but a lot of people, they're jumping around and they shoot themselves in the foot. The first thing, that's that. So I've had some downs, but the real thing, once I get past that, the mindset stuff is I've said this, I treat myEcon because it's a transactional compensation plan. That means Ivy will tell you, like, even to this day, sometimes I don't understand something in the comp plan and I'll message him or I'll call him and I'll blah, blah, blah. And I always say, I don't care if I get a dime. I don't care if I get a quarter. I want something on every person on my team when they pay their monthly. I always tell you that. So with that
Always,
said,
always.
because of this transactional compensation plan, I feel all of us own like a Planet Fitness, a gym, and they make their money every month, every day on renewals, on memberships, even if the people don't come to the gym. So our job is to get them in the front door. Our job is not to make them use the products. They're there. Our job is not to be concerned too much when they quit. You just get them in. That is your job. And when I keep my eye on the ball of 10,000 reps, that's my goal. Anytime when I'm talking with Daniel, he'll tell you every day I say it. When we say goodbye, I say, let's go get a captain and get those 10,000 people. That's how I
Absolutely.
conclude. So I guess that's my goal. That's my,
Okay. Okay.
that's what keeps me focused. But you got to be sold out. You got to be sold out and have fun. Don't beat yourself up. You realize that every single person on this call right now, you're ahead of the game of every superstar out there. If you're here 12 months, this is not a sales job, by the way. I'm best because it sounds like a sales job. If you are here in 12 months, 24 months, 36 months, you can't miss the ball. A captain's going to join your team, but if you're jumping all around, no captain's ever going to join you. I get people all the time that me and Ivy did a three-way, old school three-way yesterday. A guy, we got on a three-way, and he says that he's been watching me for over a year. He tells Ivy that. And he says, I still haven't joined. Me and Ivy giggled, but we're like, what stopped you? And the guy goes, I'm sick of following people that quit all the time. So you see the difference? Those type of people call people that are consistent. Call the secret, but
Absolutely. Hey,
that's what keeps me
that's
going.
a big, hey, I tell you, that's a big secret. I love what you said, about, hey, everybody has bad days. We've all had bad days, bad weeks, and I still have them today. And I had them 20, 30 years ago when I was getting started. And I've got a saying that I always say to myself when I have a bad day. I already made up my mind. When I was young, much younger, I made up my mind to build a business. I made up my mind to become a millionaire. And I made up my mind to build myEcon. Everything else is okay. So what do I have to do that because I already made up my mind? And so that's what I hear you saying is the conviction, the commitment to yourself to say, okay, and have goals. This is what I am going to do. And because sometimes life's not going to always give us a nice day or the day that we want, everything's going to fall in place. Sometimes we're going to get a lemon and we're going to have to make a lemonade. We got to make them lemonade and just keep on going. And that's one of the great traits that you have, Bill. And it's the trait of a great leader. Can you work through adversity? Sometimes it's yours, sometimes it's people on your team, but you have to learn to do that. So that's fantastic. I know most people in this industry that are super successful, we've all got systems, we've all got routines, we've got things that we do. So give us a little bird's eye view of what your days or what you do on a daily basis to build and continually grow your business.
It's funny because the days do change because, like you say, surprises pop up. But normally, my goal every day, I'll let the cat out of the bag. I think it's the next question, but is that I run ads every single day on Craigslist. Okay. I treat my business like a real business. So you're saying routine, Ivy, correct? Like just a
Yes,
little
absolutely.
snapshot. Okay. Well, I
Hmm.
have them running on autopilot. Okay. I try to do a YouTube video every day. It doesn't always happen, but I try. And YouTube is another hidden gold mine because YouTube is really a search engine. When someone is searching, even when they're even when someone else has introduced them and they say, you know what, let me check this company out. This guy just told me about it, or gal. And then they go do research, okay? YouTube comes up and then you're there, and then all of a sudden they see if you're not on YouTube, they're going to find other people. So YouTube is a gold mine for me. And I like doing YouTube. There's some things that I have to do. You and I, we talked about it, Ivy, some of the new stuff that I don't like doing. And my team, they're here. They know what I mean, but it works. I am on TikTok with 2 accounts. I am on Instagram with 2 accounts. And full disclosure, I stink at TikTok and short form videos, but I do them and I'm getting better. We have a fellow right here, Mark. I'm going to pick on him real quick on my team. Mark is, he went, and Mark, no disrespect, he went from zero to hero. Ivy helped him a little bit with some talking and motivation and stuff to learn about the products, but he would get like me 100 views, 800 views on a TikTok, and now I think he's got one over 300,000 views. And all of a sudden, I look on the sales report, and he's got sales. So you see what happened there?
There you go.
So don't be afraid of the new stuff, even if you're an old dog like me. Okay. I like the dinosaur stuff. I'll never stop. So I do that. Okay. What else I got here? I never skip a day. I'm always doing something. I do email list building. So I don't let anyone in the front door. And by the way, myEcon has a system where they have capture pages. So everything I show, I get their lead. That lead is worth a lot. I keep that lead goes in my database. I email every day. I have a new schedule, just so you guys know, that I put in place. And before noon, I have all my TikTok done, all my Instagrams done, all my LinkedIn done, all my X Twitter done, all my True Social done, all my there's some more LinkedIn. I think I said LinkedIn. Every social media there is, I have a post, either an image, video, or just a post, and Facebook, of course, every single day before noon. And I hit my email list before noon. So I work it like a real job. And that maybe goes into some other questions. And when I say real job, real business, what I mean here is
Absolutely.
it's very important to treat your business like you spent $1 million or even $100,000 instead of $60 a month. You gotta treat it like a real business. If you're not treating, I don't like the word side hustle. I know we say it a lot. I can't stand that word side hustle. This is not a side hustle for me. Okay. If it starts out that way for you, you better dream bigger than a side hustle if you really want to go to the next level, or it's always going to be a side hustle. Do you want it to be a side hustle or your main hustle? I like main hustle better.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna go get that domain name.
Absolutely. Yeah, keep the main thing the main thing. Hey, if you really got if you really got big dreams in this thing, then say this is my main thing and my job is my side hustle. We got to change that mindset, and that's great. Hey guys and ladies, did you hear that? He's working the system, focused every day. His business is open every day. Hey, if that resonates with you, let's give some fireballs down we're getting some anyway, but let's do some fireballs down in the chat box, because I'll tell you, that's my favorite part right there. Open your business every day. Keep your business open. What did you do to grow your business, to grow your income today, every day? That's really what it's all about. And when you hear some people say, it's just not working. Here's something I've talked about for a long time. If you work, it'll work. All right. So that's something right there. So let me ask you this. Go ahead, Bill.
I was going to say a little note I put here on that is the boss up. No one wants to work with someone that doesn't even know that they're passive aggressive, meaning, oh, I hope I get a sale. Boss up, treat it like a real business. Treat it like a real business and be plugged into the training. It's not always, I got a group here, 10 a.m. I'm on a Zoom every morning with my team, and I work just as hard as them. I never ask anyone to work harder than me.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about. I can tell you, when you open your business, keep your business open, you work it like a business, because it is. I'm an analytical guy. When you look at a network marketing business and a traditional business, to me, there's no comparison. I just couldn't imagine myself working a job, and I couldn't imagine myself opening up a traditional business. If you've got one, wonderful, nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that's, me. And so I guess that's one of the reasons Bill and I have clicked so well over the years, is because he does such an amazing job at that. Now, but you've got something else that I really have a lot of respect for, and that's longevity. Most people cannot stay focused and motivated for any significant period of time. Share with us a little bit about how you're able to do that when people all around you, they get unfocused, they get unmotivated. What's going on there?
Truth is, I'm disappointed. I'm so disappointed. I have colleagues and friends that got so much reach. They put a Facebook post up, they'll get 500 likes and comments. And here I am. I forgot that. Oh, there was one other thing. It just came to me. I wanted to tell you guys. When I first started and I made all that dough, when I brought a captain in and other captains, I only had 29 recruits, personal recruits. I want everyone to know that. You see what I mean? I wanted to, that's very important to know that you don't have to be a great salesperson or you don't have to be a recruiting star. You could lose the race and win it all. You know what I mean? You could lose the
Absolutely.
sales contest and still win it all, is what I'm trying to say. So with that said, so when I say I'm disappointed, I have so many colleagues, and Ivan, you and I have talked about, we have mutual contacts, and I'm like, wow, if I could get that person to stay focused. And I get people telling me all the time, oh, I need popular, I need hype. And I was like, hype and popular doesn't pay the bills. Because you notice in a hype and popular, they never talk about how much money they're making. But all the
Absolutely.
hype and popular programs, all the jumpers, all the super names that we know, big guys and girls, they're always doing another program by the following week because they're not really making the income to stay steady with one deal. So it just shows that they're not good choosers. Remember that. So when you say what keeps me going, and I'm not bragging, I just think I'm more knowledgeable. I really do. I look at a pay plan and I know what I need to do. And I know that consistency has always won the race. I've always won the race long term. And I keep quiet about it. I've had big, heavy hitters with big names, big egos, big muscles, big reach. They're incredible people. But until they tell someone, oh, Bill Marler recruited me, I never let the cat out of the bag. I support from behind and I try to help them get in the money quicker because once they get to a certain level, they'll never quit. So my job is to constantly, when I bring a captain in or anyone, to try to get them to make enough money as quickly as possible because they'll never walk away from money. And Ivy used to tell me that you had a different phrase that someone will never leave the money. So we
Absolutely.
got to get them there. I remember
Yes,
when we used to
absolutely.
talk. So the bottom line is that's why when I bring, especially a captain in, I tell them I am your assistant, whatever you need me to do. You put a post up, I'm going to get everyone to like it. I'm going to get everyone to comment it. I don't need the stardom. I know that I'll win the race with the largest team. I have people on our team now, right now, they don't even know. They don't even know I'm their upline. I mean, they don't even know it. And they're superstar recruiters and side legs, different legs that I'm not even actively really helping because they don't need
Absolutely.
me. And
Absolutely.
and that's how I grow the business. That's how I like it. But it keeps it's the knowledge, Ivy, when you say what keeps me going. And then I'm motivated by like, Ivy, you knew me when my daughters were in middle school playing basketball. I got twin daughters. Now they're both 23. They both they got their bachelor's already. They just this month, the last couple of months, they both just graduated grad school. And I don't do the bragging thing, but I got to tell you that we have no loans. Literally, we pay cash. So literally and they got a foot, now they're going to have their careers. And I only tell you that because that was because of network marketing.
That's important. That's a
Yeah.
big win. Hey, I know some of you out there can put a heart on that. That's a, no, I tell you, no student loans. That's a headache. I know I didn't realize it when I was in college, but after I got out, I went to college on a football scholarship. I valued that scholarship 30 years later more than I did when I was there. Because when I was there, I was just playing football and having fun. But when I realized around about 40 years old, man, I don't have any student loans, and all my buddies was and friends was paying student loans. I'm like, that was a pretty good deal. That thing was pretty valuable. I can definitely understand that. Here's another thing, Bill, that and for all of you out there that I've seen Bill do, which I think is so important. You have to build a culture of leadership, team building, and residual income. You can't sway. I know people every day they ask me, they say, Ivy, what's the key? What's the secret? And I say a culture of leadership, team building, and residual income. And the reason I say that is real simple. That's the way you win. So if you're having a bad day, a bad week, a bad month, or you got somebody that's all about products and okay, that's cool. Are they all about income shifting? That's cool. But the way you get wealthy is leadership, team building, and residual income. And you got to build and embrace that culture because there's nothing wrong with it. Look, everybody's doing that in every industry now. Look, you think about how many people get paid on that hamburger when you go to McDonald's and pay whatever it is that you pay $5, $6, $7 for. There's several companies that made money on that transaction, and they just call it corporations, and we call it networking or MLM, but it's the exact same thing. I just congratulate Bill for being such a great leader, and I appreciate his leadership in myEcon. He's been able to help us with things at corporate, not just out in the field, because he's somebody's got a lot of great knowledge. A person, the leader would be a fool not to ask for help, because obviously one person doesn't have all the answers. I know I don't. Well, that's great. So, Bill, in closing here, what would you like to say to give us some freestyle, Bill. Tell us something great that you want to talk about tonight.
I was just thinking about when you were talking, because I know you've told me many times your following, which is really good, are a lot of product users, a lot of cash flowers, people that never recruited. You told me there's thousands of people in myEcon and they pay every month and they're really not looking to recruit. It's not like they can't, but they cash flowed. Some of them have done better than us recruiters, like literally like cash flowed enough. But what I want to invite people to do, like I said, like Ivy said, some people use the products, some people want to use recruit. And he just said it without saying it. There's a mix. So I welcome especially Ivy's following, to embrace and go create a YouTube channel. I'm going to tell you my way, not necessarily our team's way. I want to tell you what I would do. You got TikTok, you got Instagram, you got Facebook. Everyone's on Facebook. I want to tell everyone my first step for the non-recruiters that never even thought about, who's still like asking their cousins and aunts and stuff and their friends. I'm going to tell you, go. And by the way, we teach this. There's nothing you can't learn. You don't need me. You don't need Ivy. You don't need anyone to teach you how to do anything. It's all on YouTube. You just search it. How do I open up a YouTube channel? How do I do this? It's there. And now you got ChatGPT too. So that's a whole nother animal. So I would say, Ivy, I would implore everyone here. It helps us all. It helps the company to go. If you don't have a YouTube channel, get out there and go you don't even got to be on video, by the way. You can go take one of the videos in the back office of myEcon and just repurpose it and post it. Now, all of a sudden, we want to talk about wave instead of a certain group of doing it. Now, maybe there's 10 of us a day doing it. Maybe there's 20 of us a week. All of a sudden, we got 56 people? We got 56 plus people doing a video a week. That starts a wave. So that's once I would invite everyone who's hasn't thought about building the business or really hasn't taken it serious to take a baby step and get it and do something, because you'll be happy. Remember, you're one person away. You do not have to recruit hundreds of people. You're one person away from making it big in myEcon. And
absolutely. Hey, you want one person away, just a little bit of effort. You don't know if it's going to be today or tomorrow, but it'll be your day to just go to the next level. Because I can tell you, when Bill joined myEcon back in 2018, I had never heard of him. I wasn't out on social media. But hey, if you're out there, if you got your business open, if you're marketing, it may not be you. It could be somebody on your team, but you got to get that person on your team to go to the next level. Bill, I just want to just publicly tell you, hey, man, we appreciate you. I appreciate you here. And you've just done such a great job. But I also appreciate our friendship. Hey, we've been talking since 2018, and we don't always agree, but we can, which I love. I don't want to talk to anybody that agrees with me all the time.
But we do it professionally. I remember in 2018, Ivy used to have infinity meetings. So we'd have 15 of us, 20 of us on a conference call. I don't even think it was a Zoom. And he'll tell you I was always, because I don't change. It'd be 14 against 1 and I'd be the one. Remember Ivy? And Ivy would agree with me sometimes. He goes, you lost the vote. But I was right a lot of times, because
he was right a lot of times.
Because now it always comes back. It comes back and they're like, Oh yeah, sorry they did that now.
Absolutely. Hey, and that's the way it's got to be. Real people, real relationships. I can assure you that's what you're going to get here at myEcon. We've got some great leaders, and I appreciate all of you. And hey, we just appreciate Bill for coming on, sharing some great information with us tonight.